The Afghan capital came under machine gun and rocket fire on Tuesday while President Ashraf Ghani was addressing a congregation following Eid prayers.
Ghani was attending the Eid AlAdha prayer with other Afghan officials held at the Presidential Palace Mosque as several explosions were heard. There was no immediate information on casualties, Reuters witness and a security official said. A security official said the explosions were caused by rocket fired from the outside the city. He said some of those had fallen near the Presidential Palace, around embassy compounds and government buildings. On Sunday, Ghani had declared an unconditional ceasefire with the Taliban. But the Taliban insurgents, according to two senior commanders, have rejected the offer and vowed to continue attack against the government on its foreign allies.
The death toll in India's southern state of Kerala rose to nearly 400 on Tuesday after its worst flood in a century as water began receding and aid started filtering through to people sheltered in camps.
Growing queues of people waiting for petrol, medicine and food were seen across the state, where 1.2 million people are residing in relief camps and dozens are still missing. Those able to return home face a big cleanup. In Alleppey, aid group Seva Bharati were handing out various relief materials to more than 5,000 people, the Vice President Mohanand said on Monday. They were also busy making preparations for after the flood so as to reduce the chances of a disease outbreak. Similar groups are spread out across the state, which has so far received just a third of the immediate assistance of 20 billion rupees it sought from the federal government.
India said Facebook owned WhatsApp and pledged on Tuesday to develop tools that would combat fake messages to help the country crack down on people whipping up public anger through mass message forwards on social media. WhatsApp Chief Executive Officer Chris Daniels gave the assurance to India's Information Technology Minister during a meeting in New Delhi.
The country's Communication and Information Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad had asked the company to work out ways to trace the origin of sinister message like those that led to a series of mob beatings across the country this year. It does not need rocket science to locate a message, Prasad said after his meeting, adding that the US tech giant had agreed to name a grievance officer to deal with issues in India. India is WhatsApp's biggest market with more than 200 million users and one where it say people forward more messages, photographs and videos than any other country. These are also concerned that supporters of political parties could use social media platforms such as WhatsApp to spread false messages in the run-up to India's national elections in 2019. In July, WhatsApp said message forwards will be limited to 5 chats at a time, whether among individuals or groups, and said it will remove the quick forward button placed next to media messages. IT Minister Prasad also said WhatsApp was working with law enforcement agencies to tackle the problem and was planning a big campaign to educate consumers about fake messages.
3 couples braved torrential rain and knee-deep floodwater and held wedding ceremony in Shanxi city of central China's Henan province on Saturday.
The day was believed to have been an auspicious one for many couples to get married. This, however, did not stop Typhoon Rumbia, which brought a torrential rain. But the couple's resolve to hold the wedding as planned was not dampened. Facing rising floodwater that cut off roads in the downtown, the family of a bride brought her to the bridegroom using an inflatable boat. In Zai country, the bridegroom managed to cross the deep floodwater, which submerged most kinds of vehicles. He found a truck with a high chassis. On the way to the wedding site, he held the umbrella for his bride to protect her from the ruthless rain. Another couple had to hold the ceremony at the roadside in order not to miss the auspicious time.
England's assistant coach Paul Fabris hoped on Monday that the English batsman would be up for the task of setting a record for the highest successful 4th innings chase and beat India to win the 3rd test as well as the 5-match series. Tuesday, however, was a tough day for England batsmen, with wickets falling at regular intervals.
England's opening pair of Alastair Cook and Keaton Jennings survived a tricky 9-over before the close of a play, reaching 23 without loss. That meant Joy Root's side required another 498 runs to win over the final 2 days of play. Only 4 teams have scored more than 400 to win a test. West Indies 418 to beat Australia in 2003 being the highest. The highest 4th inning wins test total at Trent Bridge is 284 score by England against New Zealand in 2004. However, Farbrace backed his batsman to pull off the monumental chase.
That's all from the news studios. For more details, you can visit our website 92NewsHDUK and have a happy Eid. Stay with us. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very warm welcome to 92 News HD and a very warm wishes for the occasion of Eid AlAdha. Starting off with the top story today, Eid AlAdha was celebrated throughout Middle East and most of Europe on Tuesday. The largest Eid prayers congregations were at Masjid al-Haram in Makkah and Masjid Nabwi in Medina. Millions of Muslims, including Hajj pilgrims, sacrificed cattle in remembrance of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Eid is being celebrated in Saudi Arabia today.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Millions of people offered Eid prayer in Makkah and Medina.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Having spent the night in Muzdalfa, the Hajj pilgrims reached Mina on Tuesday. They threw stones at the Saturn and sacrificed animals. Most of the men had their heads shaved. Hajj authorities said more than 2 million animals were sacrificed this year. In Baghdad, the largest congregation was at Mausoleum of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. Eid was also celebrated in Turkey and several European countries.
Eid al-Adha is being celebrated in UK, Germany, France, Spain and other parts of Europe today with religious zeal and fervor. For more details, see this report.
Eid al-Adha is celebrated in UK with traditional zeal and fervor. Eid prayers were offered in London, Bradford and other cities of the country. Following the prayer, people hugged each other and exchanged Eid greetings. Muslims living in Ireland are also celebrating Eid today. Large number of people attended the Eid congregations held at different mosques in Dublin. Special prayers were offered for the Muslim world on the occasion.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, Allahu akbar, walillahi alhamd.
Muslims in Spain are also celebrating Eid today with religious fervor. The largest Eid congregation was held at Barcelona's Sports Hall. Overseas Pakistanis say the real fun is in celebrating Eid with loved ones back home. Likewise, Muslims in Germany too are celebrating Eid al-Adha today. In Frankfurt, people of Pakistani, Afghan and Bengali origin dressed in a traditional clothes offered prayer along with their children. Muslims in France are also celebrating Eid today. Large number of Muslims offered Eid prayer at different mosques and cultural center of Paris.
A number of Eid prayers gatherings were held in Ireland on Tuesday, the biggest of them at ICCI Clonskeagh in Dublin.
The Muslim community in the Ireland is celebrating Eid today. Many families gathered at the Islamic Center to celebrate Eid. Prime Minister Leo Varadkar too visited the Islamic Center to greet the Muslims and wish them a happy Eid. A barbecue meal followed the prayer congregations.
A man was charged with the attempted murder of 2 women in Greenwich, London on Monday, according to the Metropolitan Police.
Joey Zwerb, 27, of Greenwich, will appear in custody on Tuesday, 21st of August at Bromley Magistrate Court. The 2 women who were assaulted, a mother and a daughter aged 64 and 30, remain in a critical condition in hospital, police said. The BBC reported that city worker Ania Gose and her mother were the victims. Gose's mother was visiting from Poland when she was attacked. According to neighbors, and neither woman is said to have known Mr. Zwerb, the BBC said.
Pakistani youth living in UK are becoming increasingly inclined towards reading Holy Quran. 14-year-old Babar Afzal has memorized Quran in a short span of time. 92 News correspondent Imran Bashir reports from Birmingham.
فتأتون أبوابا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا.
A ceremony was held at Jamia Mosque Anwarul Uloom, Cape Hill, Birmingham, at which Bakhabar Afzal was garlanded. Addressing the ceremony, Mufti Khalid Tasneem Al-Madni and Sheikh Mahmood Al-Azhari said, the Holy Quran's world's most sacred book which millions of Muslims have memorized. The religious scholar further said, those parents who made their children Hufaz while living in Europe are successful in this world and their life hereafter. Large number of clerics, including Hazrat Allama Dr. Habib Ahmad, Sheikh Mahmood and Zain Al-Taf attended the function.
May Allah shower blessing and mercy on the Prophet Muhammad. We are very pleased today in the Masjid al-Nabar room. One of the students has learned the Quran by heart. The Prophet said, anybody who learned the Quran by heart, inshallah he will take the 10 people of his own family to the garden in heaven.
Today Bakhabar Afzal has completed the memorization of the Holy Quran, and we made dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the ability to implement that which he has memorized and then to preach the deen to others, so that he can be amongst those who are taking people to Jannah as well and teaching the deen and making the lives of others better as well as himself.
सबसे पहले मुबारकबाद पेश करना चाहूँगा इस नौजवान बच्चे को जिसका नाम बाबर अफजल है, वो खासकर इसके वालिदैन को भी जिनकी खास मेहनत से इसने आज अपना पाक पेश किया।
यहाँ पर एक बेटे ने अनवारुल उलूम मस्जिद में कुरान पाक को ख़त्म किया और हदीस पाक में अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इरशाद फरमाया, खैरुकुम मन तअल्लमल कुरान व अल्लमहु औ कमा क़ाल नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, कि तुम में से बेहतरीन वो शख्स है जो कुरान सीखे और दूसरों को सिखाए।
तो अल्लाह के फजल करम से बच्चे बाबर इफ़ज़ाल ने कुरानी मजीद मुकम्मल हिफ़्ज़ किया है। उस सिलसिले में ये प्रोग्राम जो मंथली गैदरिंग होती है 11वीं शरीफ की, ये प्रोग्राम मुनक्कद हुआ। तमाम हमारी कम्यूनिटी ने इसमें बढ़ चढ़ कर हिस्सा लिया और ख़ास तौर पर उलमाए कराम ने अपने बयानात में इस बात पर रोशनी डाली कि इस्लाम अमन और अमन का दर्स देता है।
The participants shouted Allahu Akbar aloud during the Starbandi.
More than 2 million Muslim pilgrims hurled pebbles at a giant wall in a symbolic stoning of the devil on Tuesday.
Clad in white robes signifying a state of purity, men and women from 165 countries converged on Jamarat to perform the ritual from a 3-story bridge erected to ease congestion after earlier stampedes. Under close supervision from Saudi authorities, the faithful carried umbrellas to block the blazing sun, with the daytime temperatures topping 40 degrees Celsius. The kingdom stakes its reputation on its guardianship of Islam's holiest site, Makkah and Medina, and organizing the world's largest annual Muslim gathering. Pilgrimage is also the backbone of a Saudi plan to expand tourism under a drive to diversify the economy away from oil.
More news stories lined up right after a short break. Keep watching 92 News. Welcome back after the break. The names of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam have been placed on the exit control list. The federal cabinet had made the decision on Monday.
Nawaz and Maryam are serving prison terms awarded in the Evenfield reference. The former premier was sentenced to a total of 11 years in prison and his daughter to 8 years. The decision to place Nawaz and Maryam Nawaz on the ECL was taken at a meeting of the federal cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Imran Khan on Monday, Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry has said. Meanwhile, Captain retired Safdar, the third convict in the case, has been shifted to Rawalpindi Institute of Cardiology after complaining of chest pain. Former MNA Hanif Abbasi, another Adiala jail inmate, has undergone angioplasty at the Rawalpindi Institute of Cardiology. He has been prescribed 2 weeks rest.
Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa said on Tuesday Pakistan had been at war with terrorists for 2 decades. The statement coincided with the International Day of Remembrance and tribute to the victims of terrorism.
According to Inter-Service Public Relations, the general said terrorism was a global menace and required joint efforts. He said Pakistan had been facing the terrorist threat for quite some time. Pakistani nation and its armed forces are bravely and successfully stood up to this challenge and are on a positive trajectory to defeat it effectively. The ISPR quoted General Bajwa as saying, "We express solidarity with the courageous families of the victims of terrorism, including security forces who have fought valiantly against it. Our collective resolve shall defeat all inimical forces which try to push us toward darkness, but are failing in the face of our national resilience and determination," the army chief said.
The Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz has come out with its reservations against the nomination of Senator Ehtezaz Ehsan for president by Pakistan People's Party. PMLN President Shehbaz Sharif presided over a party meeting on Tuesday to discuss strategy for the presidential elections.
Several PMLN leaders said the Pakistan People's Party had not taken them into confidence before announcing the nomination. Some of them said Ehtezaz had been among those trying to divide an opposition coming together over rigging in general elections. The participants said a consensus opposition candidate for president should be nominated. If agreement is not reached with the Pakistan People's Party on a candidate, the PMLN will nominate Abdul Qadir Baloch, a PMLN leader said. He said a meeting of the opposition alliance will be held in Islamabad or Murree on August 24. Pakistan People's Party had nominated Ehtezaz Ehsan as its candidate for president. According to the ACP schedule, polling, if required, will be held on September 4. Prime Minister Imran Khan has nominated Dr. Arif Alvi for the job.
And former Punjab Chief Minister Shehbaz Sharif appeared at the National Accountability Bureau on Tuesday to answer questions about Ashiana Housing Scheme and Saaf Pani Company.
Sources close to investigation said Shehbaz claimed that the civil servants were responsible for any irregularities. The former chief minister told the investigators he had not been part of any wrong. In fact, he said he had helped save billions of rupees in award of contracts of these projects. Shehbaz also said he had been the first to order third-party audit for the project. He said the chief secretary had sent him a summary proposing the cancellation of Ashiana Housing Scheme contract. The sources said 19 questions were asked on Tuesday.
Banker Hussain Lawai, under arrest for his alleged role in a money laundering case, has been shifted from Karachi's Central Jail to the National Institute of Cardiovascular Diseases.
Prison department officials said Lawai was taken to the hospital on August 9. On August 17, the department sought permission from the government to shift the prisoner. However, the grant of permission is not on record. Officials said Lawai was taken to the hospital on the advice of jail doctor. A formal permission is still awaited. Some officials said the rules require an under-trial prisoner to be brought back to the jail after emergency treatment at a hospital. A prisoner can be kept at a hospital only with the Home Department permission granted in view of the doctor's advice.